Hi, welcome to today's yoga practice. We'll begin with a quick warm-up and then move on to our flowing sequence before coming down to our mats and cooling down and then resting in shavasana. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll start standing at the top of our mats. So feet can be about hip-width apart. And we'll begin by just centering ourselves, standing relaxed, shoulders away from the ears. And begin by breathing in through the nose and then exhaling through the nose or mouth. Leaving behind whatever you were doing before you came to practice and trying not to worry too much about what will come after. If your eyes are closed, you can slowly open them. And we'll begin with a few shoulder rolls, so bringing the shoulders up towards the ears on an inhale and then back and down. Inhale on the way up and exhale on the way down. And then reverse directions, so shoulders coming up and exhale forward and down. Last time. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. And then exhale, send the hands behind you, clasping the hands. Take your hands over to the right hip and then take the right ear to right shoulder. Breathing here for a couple of breaths. Leaving your ear aimed at your right shoulder, go ahead and begin to slowly drop the chin toward the chest. And then slowly begin to lift the chin toward the ceiling. Ear stays aimed toward the right shoulder. And then slowly coming back to center and taking the hands over to the left hip. Take the ear and drop it toward the left shoulder. Take a couple of breaths here. And then leaving the ear aimed toward the left shoulder, begin to drop the chin toward the chest. And from here, slowly begin to lift the chin up toward the ceiling, ears staying aimed toward the shoulder. And slowly begin to lift the head back toward the center and release the arms. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Sweep the right leg behind you and over to the side, grabbing onto the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach over toward the left. Feeling a stretch down the right side of the body. And then inhale, come back to center. We'll do that on the other side. So inhale, raise the arms up. Sweep the left leg behind you and over to the side. Grab onto the left wrist with the right hand. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, lean the arms over toward the right. And then inhale, come back to center. Lower the hands down. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Feet can be together or hip width apart. Bend the knees as much as you need here. Just kind of hanging, maybe swaying from side to side. And then on an inhale, begin to slowly roll back up to standing. We'll move through about 3 sun salutations. So to begin, inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, step back to plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, press the hands into the ground, lift the chest. Exhale, lower. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Maybe pedal out the feet. Maybe sway the hips from side to side. And then on an inhale, walk the feet back between the hands and lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand, raise the arms overhead. And then exhale, lower the hands. Do that again. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale here. And then you have the option to exhale into chaturanga or all the way down to the ground. And then coming into your cobra or upward facing dog on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. On an inhale, walk the feet back between the hands, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand, raising the arms overhead. And then exhale, lower the hands back down. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale to chaturanga or all the way down. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Catch your breath here. On an inhale, walk the feet back between the hands, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. And then exhale the hands back down. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. On an inhale, step the right foot between the hands and drop the back knee to the floor, coming into your low lunge. Take an inhale here, lift the chest, clasp your hands behind you, and then aim the hands towards the floor while you aim your chest up toward the ceiling. Deep breaths here. Exhale. Place the left hand down on the ground and then reach the right arm up toward the ceiling and chest is aimed toward the wall at the right. Take a few breaths here. Pressing the floor away from you with the hand. On an exhale, lower the right hand back down to the ground and step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Take a couple of breaths here. On an inhale, step the left foot between the hands and then drop the right knee down to the ground. Inhale to lift the chest, clasp the hands behind you, aiming the hands toward the ground, chest aiming toward the ceiling. Breathing here. On an exhale, lower the hands back down to the floor, pressing the right hand into the mat. Lift the left arm up toward the ceiling. Chest opens up toward the left. Press the floor away from you with the hand. Deep breaths here. On an exhale, lower the left hand back down to the ground. Step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Breathe here. On an inhale, walk the feet between the hands, lift the chest halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand, raise the arms overhead. And then exhale, the hands back down. Inhale, raise the arms overhead, pull the left knee into the chest. Balancing here, find a focal point in front of you. On an exhale, begin to send the chest forward, left leg and arms reaching back behind you, warrior three. Slowly set the left toes down on the ground, coming into your high lunge. Take a couple of breaths here, arms overhead. And then on an exhale, open up into warrior two. Face the right palm toward the ceiling and then reach the right arm up and over for reverse warrior. And then on an exhale, return to warrior two. From here, we'll make our way into side angle by placing the right hand on the floor on the inside of the right foot, left arm reaching toward the ceiling, pressing the elbow into the knee and the knee into the elbow. Gaze can be up at the left hand. On an inhale, come back up to warrior two, and then spin back around into your high lunge. Take a couple of breaths here. Send the right hand back to the left thigh, and then reaching up and back with the left arm, reaching the chest toward the ceiling. Last inhale here. Exhale, send the left hand down to the mat. Right arm reaches up toward the ceiling, and then chest is spinning to the left for this twisted side angle. From here, roll over onto the outer edge of the left foot, and then stack the right foot on top of the left for side plank. Breathe here. Last inhale. Exhale, return to plank. Pull the right knee into the chest. Spin the left heel toward the floor, and then take the right foot underneath the body, placing it to the outside of your mat. Press into the right hand, lift the right arm toward the ceiling for fallen triangle. Breathing. Last inhale. Then exhale, slowly set the hips down onto the floor. Take the left forearm to the floor in front of the left leg, and then reach the right arm up and over for side body stretch. Inhale to come back to center. Pull the right knee into the chest. Hug the right knee in with the left arm. Fingertips behind you, twist to the right. from here. Place your hands back down onto the mat to return to plank, pulling the right knee in toward the chest. Then press back into three-legged downward facing dog. On an inhale, take the right foot between the hands and pivot around to face the long edge of your mat, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, press the hands into the ground, pivot around to the back end of your mat, and step back to plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Take a few breaths here. On an inhale, step the feet between the hands, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. And on an exhale, lower the hands back down. So we'll do that all on the other side now. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, pull the right knee into the chest. Balancing here. On an exhale, begin to send the chest forward and the right leg and arms behind you for warrior three. Set the right toes down behind you, coming into your high lunge. Breathe here. Then open up into your warrior two position. Left palm faces toward the ceiling, and then reach the left arm up and over for reverse warrior. Last inhale. Exhale, return to warrior two. Moving into side angle pose, place the left hand down onto the ground in front of the left foot. Reach the right arm up toward the ceiling, pressing the arm into the leg and the leg into the arm. And then gaze can be up toward the hand. On an inhale, come back to your warrior two. And then spin back around into your high lunge. Breathing here. Sweep the left hand down to the right thigh. Reach the right arm up and back. Chest lifting toward the ceiling. Last inhale. Exhale, plant the left hand down onto the floor. Lift the left arm up. Chest is spinning to the left for this twisted side angle. Place the outer edge of the right foot down onto the mat, and then stacking the feet, come into your side plank. Breathing here. Last inhale. Exhale, return to plank. Pull the left knee into the chest. Spin the right heel down onto the ground and send the left foot underneath you to the outside of your mat. Press into the left hand, lift the right arm up for fallen triangle. Breathing here. Lifting the hips. And then on an exhale, slowly lower the hips down to the ground. Place the right forearm in front of the right leg and reach the left arm up and over for a stretch on the left side of the body. Inhale, come back to center. Pull the left knee into the chest. Hug the knee in with the right arm, twist to the left. Breathing here. Last breath here. Plant the hands down onto the ground toward the back of your mat and return to plank. Left knee pulls in toward the chest. And then return to a three-legged downward dog. On an inhale, take the left foot between the hands, spin around to the long edge of your mat. Place the hands onto the hips and then lift the chest on an inhale. Keeping the legs wide, pull the heels in and toes out. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, begin to bend the knees and bend the elbows for goddess. Stay here a couple of breaths. On an inhale, come back up. And then exhale, return to goddess. Breathe here. Inhale to come back up. Last time, exhale, return to goddess. Sinking down as low as you can. And inhale to come back up. Exhale, lower the hands down. Spin around to face the top of your mat and return to mountain pose. Take an inhale here and raise the arms. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale to chaturanga or cobra. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Take a breath here. And then on an exhale, drop the knees to the floor and set the hips back for child's pose. Resting here a moment. On an inhale, come into your tabletop position, and we'll move into pigeon pose. So take the right knee to the back of the right wrist, and the right foot will rest between your left hand and left hip. Let the left leg go long down the mat behind you. So you have the option to stay here with the chest lifted, or you can, on an exhale, begin to fold over the right leg any amount. We'll be here for a few breaths. Inhale to slowly come back up, returning to your tabletop. And we'll do that on the left side. So the left knee will come to the back of the left wrist, and the left foot will rest between the right hand, right hip, and then the right leg will go long down the mat. So option to stay here, keeping the chest lifted, or on an exhale, folding over the left leg any amount. Breathing deeply. On an inhale, lift the chest, and then roll over onto the left hip and swing the right leg toward the front of the mat. Placing the soles of the feet down onto the mat, rock back onto the sit bones, and we'll come into a half navasana, half boat position. Hands can reach in front of you. And then from here, bring the hands into prayer. And then we're going to take our fingertips down to the mat on the left side of the hip. And then inhale to come back to center. Exhale, take the fingertips to the right. Inhale, back to center. Do this a few more times at your own pace. Come back to center. Set the feet back down onto the ground. Open out the knees. Soles of the feet come together for butterfly pose. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale to slowly lift the chest. And then place the soles of the feet back down into the ground and make your way into a reclined position. Pulling the knees into the chest and then slowly rocking from side to side. And then take the arms out long to the sides, or you can make goalpost arms. And on an exhale, let the legs fall over to the left, and the head can fall to the right. Resting here a moment. On an inhale, come back to center. And then let the knees drop over to the right while the head falls to the left. Letting the breath deepen and slow down. On an inhale, come back to center. Place the soles of the feet down into the floor. Stretch the legs long down the mat, wider than the hips. And then feet can fall out to the sides. Arms resting beside you with the palms facing up. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Coming into our final resting pose. Maybe taking the first few moments to scan from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Noticing if you're still holding tension anywhere. And if you are, giving yourself permission to let that tension go on an exhale. So this is where I will leave you today. Stay here as long as you need. Thank you for practicing with me.